Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Baha Pips, and it's currently Tuesday, March 14th, 2023, 5:54 p.m. I'm in Bangkok, Thailand. I just wanted to break this video down just to show y'all what I went through today. It's going to be about a 15-minute video, and yeah, let's just get started. Today it was great movement. I have nothing to complain about with the movement. Everything was flawless. I did like the market activity today. It could have definitely been more movement, but volatility has been picking up as of lately. The past month it was slow, and it was just getting better as February was getting underway. And now we're in the middle of March, and the winter season is over, just about. And yeah, the markets are just starting to pick up in activity is all I'm saying. So here's when I could start uploading my videos again. The previous week, apologies for that. Previous week I broke even, and this week um, I expect to have net profits this week. So last week I had a break even week. The week before I had a tiny loss, and yeah, this week I look to break that little curse of my FTMO account right now. As you guys can see, it was at the beginning of this video, it was sitting at about 48,000 and some change. And well, what does it say right there? 48,281 USD. So it was sitting at about $48,200. And I knew I'm about halfway through my FTMO challenge time wise. So it's time for me to step it up. I can't be using a 1/4%. And I had a little, trip out here, like I said. Just so one of my reasons was just I needed to tie a few things together. And sometimes you got to switch environment just to get that last little bit of focus. And many people don't know that, but I do that all the time. Sometimes I'll just change the environment for a little bit. Just, maybe one environment I'm doing everything great, great habits, great routine, but I might be forgetting a couple things in what I'm doing. That's what I was happening when I was in China. I still live in China, but being in that strict disciplined environment with routine every day, sometimes you may miss a thing or two that you're just overlooking, and that's what was going on with me. Came out here to Thailand, I started seeing things a little bit more clearly, and was just having a solid week. Ended last week, it was whatever. Didn't really see any good trades, so I didn't trade. I didn't lose money, and yeah, came back this week, same attitude, same mentality. Took care of the markets today, and it was a 2 hour span, so literally about 2 hours in, I was done. I didn't see anything else. I was not triggered into any type of trade. I didn't want to take any trading activity. I was exhausted like I should be. Everything just it worked out the way I liked it to. So that's what was happening in, in my 2 hour mark. So things are going smooth. You're gonna see by the end of this video, I was up and I had a winning day, and I am very happy because I'm finally starting to step on the winning side of this FTMO challenge. Like, I'm not even at break even yet, but I will be closer at the end of this video. And like I said, sometimes you start off slow, but now I'm risking close to 1%, so I'm getting near 2% on every trade, above or a little below 2% on every trade. So that's great for my movement now. I should be able to pass that 10% in the next 2 weeks. And as long as I follow my rules, there's always trading opportunity happening. If it happens, if it doesn't happen in all your session, it might happen later in the session. It may not happen at all, but you might find it the next day. But you got to be patient, and that's what I was doing. I was waiting. I was being very patient with the markets today. There was no need for me to hop in any type of trades, as y'all can see. I skipped most of that because it was just a lot of mess. All I seen was a false breakout to the lows of the day, and then it popped on up to daily highs, but it did not create new highs. And then it just false breakout triggered and went back into a range. At that point, I knew we were in some hot season. I was like, okay, something's going on. We're bullish, but we're also like a deep pullback. So I didn't want to buy it just yet. That's what y'all are watching right now. Price was struggling to go on up, so I didn't buy it just yet. And yeah, as you can see, prices just kept. I don't buy it when prices going that fast, anyways. But um, it was picking up, and I was like, okay, well, if we start seeing buyers step in now, it's giving red flags that there's not as much bears in the market. That's when I was just waiting, watching the markets, just seeing if price was gonna react. It had a little mini support. Was seeing that line that I drew earlier in the video. I was actually recording for 2 hours, so in the beginning of the video, I drew that line. I said that that was going to be our area of demand. If price did break on above, in which it did, you know, we were going to see possible bounces and breaks above and below it. And we've been seeing price react from it, and it's been bouncing from that demand area. So that's what we're currently seeing right now is a nice strong push. And at that point, I was very convinced that I wanted to go long, but wanting to do something is a big difference between me wanting to go long and me actually getting triggered into going long. So I didn't buy it just yet because I had feelings of it going up. I had to be convinced. So at this point, I'm waiting for some sort of reaction in the markets to get me into the trade. Now, I look for very specific patterns, and this is like my own unique edge, but it's hard to share with anybody. Even if I shared it, no one will understand. But at this very moment, I definitely seen that we're at the resistance. I don't like buying into resistance. I think it's silly. I think that price in the markets reverse after price goes into resistance. So normally I don't like buying into resistance, but you know, in this video I actually did because I seen that we were actually bullish. See, if you look at it closely, we are on a mini uptrend for about an hour and a half into the session. So price had actually been moving on up and was bullish. And my theory was the bulls were supporting the market moving up as to it going down. And until I seen the market start to turn over in bearish reaction, I am not bearish. And I kept on seeing price push down but get rejected. Push down, get rejected. Every time it's pushing down, it's getting rejected. And to me, I seen all my pattern, my everything was lining up. I seen a final push to the downside, and then immediately saw price connecting back up. That's when I was like, okay, any moment I could have went long, but I like waiting for just a little bit additional confirmation. And so any moment I was waiting to get long, I did not see that long, and you can see I was just waiting. But I'm reading price action very tight and closely at this point because I did see price was continuing to rise even though it was getting pushed on down. And to me, what happens if something's about to burst? Well, it looks like it's about to burst. It looks like it's going on up. So I was just waiting, taking my time, a little concerned about before getting into the trade because I seen, like I said, we were at the highs of that range. It was obvious those stops to the left a few hours ago were going to get hit if we seen strong bullish activity. So we were at the highs of that range, and I just kept on holding. I seen that to the far left, there were daily highs that were untouched. And I told myself, hey, listen, if we're hesitating to break on up, this is my one trade of the day. The worst that could happen is it could start reversing against my long right now, and it could start going down. But we could be that guy. I could be that guy to buy it and could see it continue going up today because I met all my criteria, like I said, and to me it was a steal. As soon as I seen a red bar pull back continuation, I'm getting in on this trade. So I was waiting for my red bar pullback continuation, and it just wasn't there yet. I wasn't fearful. I seen that it was very bullish. This is why I wait for my specific scenario, because now I know that the bulls are in control. It was telling me, okay, bulls are in control now. Bulls are in control now. So whatever you do, make sure you look for longs, because there's no way this is going short. I looked to the left. I seen that I missed out on the entry because, it was already kind of up there. And I was like, you know what? I could probably get in if we start to climb back up, because there's always a better entry. And that's what was happening to me. I was getting that little better entry. I said, why not? You know, First entry was a little bit quick, anyways, but this one right here, it was clear, it was obvious as daylight to me. Buy it, and I just didn't go in yet. I was just a little hesitant. Like I said, just getting in on these trades for the first time, you want to be able to confirm. So I have these little safeguard triggers as my confirmation. So that's all I was doing, was waiting for my safeguards to pull me into a trade. And I was getting it. Everything was ticking. And so to me, I'm like, I can't sit here and watch the markets. I can't let the price run away from me. This is the moment where I need to assess what's going on. I started seeing it was pulling back, but it was getting weak. There was a false breakout to the lows as we're seeing right now. I assessed that. I seen that we're still bullish overall, and that false breakout got broken. That's when my confirmation, I was ready. I was ready to strike. And this is why it's always about being tactical. If you're not tactical in the markets, you're going to get wiped out. And that's why I'm explaining it like this. I know it sounds like a narrative, like a storyline. That's exactly what I want it to sound like, because that's how it was in my head. You gotta be ready to strike. That's what I was ready to do. Was ready to strike. You can see it's no joke, no game. The price is chilling at the top, indecisive between it wanting to go up or down. There's a lot going on in my head at the time, and this is what happens when I'm managing the trades all the time. It's always a scenario, and this is real time trading. I'm getting into the trade. I know it's a little slow because I really waited until the last moment to enter the trade, because I was right on my 2 hour mark. I said, if this doesn't go, then, and you can see all that happened afterwards. So I seen price tail down. I was like, okay, good thing I didn't enter long right there, but maybe we're going to go short. Last resort trade, I'm like, okay. But it would be weird if it's going down, yeah, because I was reaching my 2 hours, so I was going to just call it a day if I didn't see a reaction. Either a strong setup to the downside, which is going to take a lot to happen, or I needed to see that reversal down. I needed to see a move on up for a continuation. So I got a continuation pattern, is what I ended up getting. That was one of my patterns in my arsenal that I was successfully able to identify. As price was on its way down, it stalled out, and then it started going up stronger again. We were not at daily highs yet. We kind of just exhausted near daily highs, and it didn't tell me anything about the bear strength fully. All it was telling me was that there's bulls that were still there. So I waited for my little signal. I got into the trade, as you're about to see. And at that point, to me, it was a no brainer. There's multiple times to get into the trade, and I didn't want to be as hesitant as I was the first time. So I got in right there. You see that long. I went for an easy 2-to-1. It was just slightly above daily highs, just because I figured we're going up that high. We're probably going to pop on up for a little bit. And yeah, the trade just went off. Took several minutes to get on up, but I was expecting that as it was a slow trade on the way down. It might have just was giving the same type of energy out. And yeah, it was kind of just stalling out at highs. I was ready to trail my stop loss anyways, but it was a little too early for me to trail my stop. So I was just waiting for price to go on up just a little bit more. That's when I drew the trend line, the ascending trend line, just so I could see the linear curve it was on. It was on a healthy uptrend. So yeah, everything visually was appealing to me. I trimmed my stop to 1 pip under my break even, and yeah, trade closed out. I got a nice 2 to 1. I showed you on the photo. At this point, it's the end of the day for me. Another trade would have took too long to look for and to just be involved in. So I call it a day. There you go, 2R, and I'm up about 1.4% on that trade. And yeah, that's it, y'all. So that's my FTMO account. I'm now currently at 49,000, and I am down about 1% on this challenge. One more percent, I'll break even, and I'll be up. So later on this week, hopefully. All right, y'all. That's it. Peace.